right, Oval fans. I know a lot of people have been bringing this up in live streams and comments on my Instagram post. And with the finale tonight, we know that Ellie allegedly is supposed to be getting a promotion to the point where she's going to be Diane's new boss, and that ain't going to sit too well. Now, I went back and watched the scene from, I think it was either episode 22 or, wait, hang on. I think it was episode 22. I want to say it was 22. Basically, I think it was called The Loving Parents. And it's when we have Alan, who is Donald's secretary or assistant. And then you have Ellie, who's kind of like, the assistant, or I guess you could say the runner-up to the press secretary. Now, basically, I know people were bringing this up a couple weeks ago, but I didn't really catch on to it. 'Cause I watched the scene, but I didn't really watch the scene. But I went back and rewatched the scene between Alan and Ellie, and I caught a lot of dialogue I didn't really notice the first time for whatever reason, because I remember when I first saw it, it's like, Alan's like telling Donald, oh, I don't have anybody at home waiting for me, a young lady. Do you love politics that much? No, I love working for you that much, sir. And he's like, go ahead and go home. So I'm just like, when Ellie and Alan are talking, I'm like, wait, is like Alan potentially in love with Donald and something like that? Or and he and Ellie are just like kind of work buddies, and he's offering to just hey, let's go get drinks, that way they can just talk about their jobs and all. But no, apparently these two might actually be in a relationship. I mean, the first thing that he says when Ellie comes out of her office, when she looks a little distraught, like, hey, don't worry, I'll rub your feet, and well, I would love to hug you or kiss you right now, but we can't because we're on the clock. And apparently, he's talking about how, hey, I love working with my guy, Donald. I love it. I'm learning a lot. And then, she obviously is dealing with a lot with Diane. But he's like, hey, what are you doing? You could deal with people like that in your sleep. Yeah, but that doesn't make it easy. Like, look, we're in the White House. We can't be complaining about that. And that's when she brings up how I talked with the basically what's it called? POTUS, President of the United States. And brings up how she brought up how Diane treats her. And they have a meeting tomorrow morning. And right when they're about to get drinks, she gets the message from Hunter to stay and tell her more information about the whole press secretary thing. And the interesting part is, do these two give off the vibe of, remember on the Haves and Have-Nots, the new maid, Laura, and her boyfriend? A person who was in Nobody's Fool, but I don't know if we got his name in the last episode. They're apparently con artists who rob people. So basically, do you think the same thing could potentially be true of Ellie and Alan, where I don't know if Ellie and Alan are the moles, the ones who are leaking information from what's going on in the White House to Victoria's parents, but at the same time, I do find it interesting, that they're in a relationship or they're together, and they both have jobs where they are assistants to key players in the White House. Ellie's with the press secretary, and Alan is with Donald. And correct me if I'm wrong, but is Donald, he's chief of staff, right? I'm sorry if I get it wrong, but these people haven't really mentioned their titles in so long. I'm just so used to hearing yes ma'am and yes sir, or no sir, no ma'am. So they're pretty much up there with high ranking officials, so it makes sense if they've had similar positions but not in the White House, given how Alan is like, hey, we're in the White House. So I'm wondering what's up with Ellie. I mean, the fact that she didn't tell Alan that it was the president. Oh, excuse me. It wasn't the president who messaged her. She just says, oh, it's Diane. She wants me to stay and work on another report. So it's just one of those situations where I wonder if Ellie has been doing these kind of things behind Alan's back, and when she gets higher ranking positions, because remember, Alan was like, what are you talking about? You dealt with people like this before. That doesn't mean that all of her previous bosses were female like Diane. Who's to say she didn't use her body like she's using with Hunter to get an upgrade in her position? So that could bring about a lot of questions. So what do you think Alan would say if Ellie said, oh my God, the president wants to see me? Who knows? But in any case, I don't think Ellie is necessarily a mole, but I do think she's someone who potentially will become the next Denise. Now, does that mean she'll get killed? I don't know, but I do feel we're going to be in a situation where Ellie might bite off more than she can chew, no pun intended, especially when Victoria's involved, because we'll find out what happens at the beginning of the next episode, episode 24. But let me know your thoughts on Alan and Ellie. Do you think that they're, in these positions for the opportunity, the experience? Do you think they possibly have ulterior motives? Or do you think that they are indeed, like I just said, ulterior motives and they're moles? Or is this not their first rodeo? Like, do you think they've been together working in similar positions at like a state office? Because I think Hunter was telling Ellie about how she used to work for this one governor or something. So do you think Alan was with Ellie at that point? Who knows? So let me know your thoughts below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you'd like to donate, feel free to do so on Cash App, PayPal, or join Patreon for as little as $1 a month.